All out for Antoine Semenyo. This is getting serious. This is not hypothetical FC. This is not, yeah, but where do you reckon he'd fit? This is not, but do we need him? This is Man United, supposedly, according to a lot of genuine reports, that they're going all out for Antoine Semenyo's signature in January. Of course, Manchester City are going for him. Liverpool's name is there at the table. We know that Spurs is there at the table, but the most significant bit of news coming out from the last 24 hours from when I last spoke about this is that they're doing everything they can to sign him. And I saw a lot of people in the comments yesterday doing the thing that I knew would happen. Well, we need to be getting a midfielder first, surely. We need to be getting this. We need to be getting that. But it's order of ceremonies, guys. It don't always go the way around you want. The type of midfielders that Man United want, Elliot Anderson, Baleba, Wharton, these types of players, they're not available in January. So what people are assuming is that you're going to go and spend this money on Antoine Semenyo, but you don't really need him. Going to play him left wing back. That doesn't fit. Can't displace Cunha in the left end. What's the point? And then you're going to get to summer and not get what you need. That hasn't been said. That has not been said. Sometimes the market opens up, the opportunities arise, and you have to seize. I asked you this before, but now it's more concrete in terms of we're going all out to sign him, because we also tried to sign him last summer, by the way. Where would he fit? Left wing back. Are you having that? He's got the attributes. He might not want to choose to do it. He might not want to choose to run up and down. He might prefer to go City, might wait for Liverpool. I don't know, might want to go Spurs and just be the whole main man out of everyone. Who knows? But let's face it, if he turned up at our club in a couple of weeks' time, we're not mad. We're not mad. Ahmad on one side, him on the other. We'll take time to get used to things. But let me know, Antoine Semenyo, should United be going all out for his signature? Not in expense of midfielders. Just him. Please, just stick to that. Smash the like on the video, people. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Happy Friday. Okay, happy Friday. Hope you've had a good week. Hope you had a strong, powerful week and you've achieved what you need to achieve. Owen, we got a lot to talk about because it's about Kobbie as well. Did he really know about this post? And there's talks of Ruben Neves. And before he went to Saudi, I remember there was talks of him. Should we get him? This, that, and the other. And now he's been out there for a few years, looking to come back to Europe with Manchester United, potentially in the hunt. Not a very busy morning.
No, indeed. It's a very busy morning. And also, Flex, what it's time for is...
Final one standing.
It's got to make the use of the voice, you know what I mean? Final one standing. Yes. The race to become William Hill's final one standing, Flex. I don't know if you've heard. It's heating up. We're getting down to the wire with some big winners getting closer and closer with the different games that are going on. Now, if you're like me, who regularly this season has been knocked out of the bigger final one standing pots a while ago, you know, just like Robbie, you know what I mean? Beat Robbie, it was pretty easy. But now's your chance to get back in there because a brand new game is open to enter. And this jackpot prize is huge. Drum roll, please. I'll get the big voice back on again.
£100,000.
Yes. Remember, the rules of the game are simple. Pick a team each week, win, you're through to the next round. But if they lose or draw, you're out of there. And you can only pick the team once. Even better, if you're still alive in the current game, you can still enter the 100k game as well, double bubble. So you can join this new one and continue in your existing game at the same time, double your efforts in the race to become final one standing. Either way, starting fresh or continuing your streak, just make sure you're locked in and you've locked in your pick by Saturday, December 20th at 3 p.m. That's critical, 3 p.m. So the first match of the day doesn't count. So you can't pick Newcastle, you can't pick Chelsea. They're the 12:30 p.m. kickoff, but you can pick them in the later rounds if you're safe with your existing pick. That's what you've got to do. Now, you can make your pick right away, and you have all the way up until the deadline to change it. Like myself, which I'm going to do very shortly. To enter, you can download the William Hill app. The link's in the video description below. It's pinned in the chat as well. You can search the William Hill on the App Store. It's completely free to play. But remember, it's UK and Ireland only, 18+. And as always, gamble responsibly. T's and C's apply with the full terms in the video description below. So, Flex, you know, my record's very, very strong. I don't know if you've heard about this, you know, of these.
Yeah, I've got a strong record.
throughout this. Well, I don't, you know what I mean? I keep going on. But it's fine. You know what I mean? It's fine. I think last time we did this, I actually went with Manchester United to win the game. And that didn't work out for me. That didn't work out for me, did it? So we'll go in, you know, and okay, who do I go with this weekend? Brighton, Sunderland.
There's only one team, bro. It's tied.
Wolves, Brentford, no. Man City, West Ham. Probably.
You have to.
Yeah. Bournemouth at home against Burnley. Look at Burnley's form. And
you could get involved in that. You want to be a bit
them.
smarter.
And you want to save City for later on. Everton, Arsenal.
No.
Do I trust Arsenal? Because they could get
a point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Everton are missing a couple players. I mean, when you look at Villa's form, if you didn't know about football, you'd go, "Well, I'm choosing them." That other team they're playing that begins with M.
It's not bad. It's not bad. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you're going to get from them.
It's not. It's, you know, there's worse in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But I hate picking Man City flex. I don't like doing that.
Well, then you're going to have to go with the Burnley one then, Bournemouth. But oh my God.
No one ever say, that I don't back my team. No one ever say that I'm not positive. Okay,
but no one's expecting you to do that.
I got accused of that on Monday. Can you believe that? Because me and you had an argument on Monday as well. We were going at each other in that game. Yeah, Flex was having one of his meltdowns. Yeah, he was having a big meltdown. He was having a big strop when we went down to 3-2, and I was saying for Flex, I was like, look, Flex, I think it was like, what was it, 55 minutes, something like that, gone in the game. And I was like, there's plenty of time, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, get your chin up. And the chat was going at me. Someone told me to F off in the chat, Nathan. I don't forget names. Yeah. I thought I was out of order, and we got back in the game. We scored 2 goals. Granted, didn't see it out.
Yeah, exactly.
But I back my team. I back my team. No one can accuse me of saying he's not supporting his team, he's not backing his team or whatever. If anything, like I said before, I know this team, Flex. Yeah. Granted, I'm not sure that bet's going to work out for me there.
I'm going to be honest with you. It's really strong. You don't have to prove that point.
But I know this team in the sense of, like I said before, Flex, I'm emotionally detached. In fact, I even made a Christmas song about it, which we'll save for a later date. Yeah. It does say in there, will Owen show emotion, or is he still emotionally detached? It's got jingle bells in it and all this kind of stuff. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Christmas number 1. But I know this team. Anything's possible. Nothing's off the table. So
I'm just changing my contrast. Lighting's a bit off. I changed it. I need to tweak that because I look really.
I was going to say your hat and your shirt is very, very dark.
Remember when I said to you the other day, like I just needed to turn the lights down.
And I'm not gonna lie, Flex. Obviously, when you're co-hosting a show with me, if you're gonna do the whole like put extra sort of darkness on it, it's only gonna make me look sort of lighter.
Yeah, even paler.
It's going to make me go full on Casper the Friendly Ghost settings. We're gonna be, you know what I mean? It's gonna be nasty. Yeah. We're kind of wearing grey this morning, which extenuates my lightness.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, we'll deal with that another time. I'll change it after. We're going all out for Antoine Semenyo.
Yeah, we are. He's a really special player, Flex. I don't know if you could. He's a really, really special player. And this one is developing and it's building. It's sort of snowballed. There you go. There's a bit of a Christmas winterness with that. Yeah. It's snowballing in the last few days, hasn't it? As you mentioned, back in November, we were getting reports going, I tell you what, it's pretty unlikely Antoine Semenyo, he's going to Man City or he's going to Liverpool or he's going somewhere else. Then we play Bournemouth. Before that, Ruben says he's a special player. We get the report from Sky 48 hours ago going, and it was Romano, actually, saying that we've made contact with Bournemouth to say, look, what's the conditions of his release clause? Now, James Ducker last night says Manchester United will go all out to sign Antoine Semenyo in January and hope the uncertainty over Pep Guardiola's future, could strengthen their hand. It also is said here, this is a bit of a wish-washy thing, to be honest. Any deal for Antoine Semenyo is likely to be done earlier rather than later in the transfer window. That's because his release clause is only active for half the transfer window. So that's not really, groundbreaking. news there. That's what it's likely that it would happen earlier on in the window. Well, yes, that's when it can actually only happen, in the early in the transfer window. But the uncertainty that he's referencing there was this report that came out from all people of David Ornstein yesterday, an Ornstein bomber early in the day. That almost got a little bit overshadowed just because of other news that was going on. But he sort of said that, Manchester City, they're doing contingency plans. They're doing contingency planning. They're not sure if Pep's going to be there at the end of next summer. And if indeed he does go, Enzo Maresca's top of their list. Now, it feels like every other year now it comes out that Pep Guardiola might leave Manchester City in the summer. And whether or not he's going to go. Yeah, exactly. And what have you. It would be pretty bold, pardon the pun, when it comes to Maresca and Pep. It would be pretty bold for Manchester United to try and use that as an argument of, well, you don't know who's going to be there at Man City. So you want to come to a club that's much more stable like us.
Yeah, choose us because of that. That's not going to happen.
As if we're using the stability argument, you know what I mean? As if we're going, well, we're Manchester United are much more of a stable institution. You would go, well, let's not take the piss here, we're going.
That's not the reason.
We're going meltdown to meltdown every single match day, like it's Chernobyl, right? So we are not stable at all. But we're going for him. How he would fit into the team is still up for debate. There's the reports that Ruben in the next few games is going to go to this back four and change the system. And maybe it's with this change of system in mind that's easier to sell. Hey, we're not going to play wing backs actually for a while now. We're going to 4-3-3, and you can go in with that. So I don't know, Flex. We're going to give it a go, maybe.
Yeah, we're going to, it's really hotting up. And like the bit where I didn't really allow myself to really think what it looks like getting him. Cause I was just like, again, I remember saying to KG on one of the Flex, I was like, bro, we're not going to go in for him. Oh no, sorry. That was Belabor. He was like, we have to try and get, I was like, we don't have that money. We're never going to get Belabor. He was like, why? That was what it was. I thought it was Semenyo. Maybe that was another show as well. But, a lot of people are saying, like, we don't really need him and why would we get him and this, that, and the other. A lot of people say that. But I don't see it like that. I see
we always
it as a good
do
fit.
this, Flex. We always talk ourselves out of signing anybody. This is one of my pet peeves. Remember Harry Kane? Yes, the Harry Kane scored all those goals. He's too old. No salon value. Yeah. He's not won anything at Spurs. We do it with every player. So what I would say with that is, don't listen to it, mate.
No, well, I haven't.
Don't listen to it. Don't listen to it, mate, because we talk ourselves out of signing anybody. Anybody. Yeah. There are always pros and cons, aren't there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they. That's what I'm saying. So those are the people that you'd think would say, "Oh, he's better off. Surely he's better off going to Liverpool. Surely he's better off going to this team, or surely he'd go to City over us." And all of those things could be true, but if you just think of why our team could be, you have to put yourself into that because we're trying to get him. Doesn't mean we will. Doesn't mean we're at the front of the queue. Doesn't mean he's going to choose us. But you have to start thinking, what does that look like? Why do we want him? What does he offer? What does he bring? And when you just keep it to that, well, he offers quality. He offers quality. He offers flexibility and versatility. He offers pace. He offers goals. And he's a very good player. He's a very good player. Now, when you think where he fits into our team as it is, away from this new 4-3-3 or the 4-4-2 that we saw against Wolves, whether we continue with that against Villa, we will see. It's too early to tell. If he was there instead of Patrick Dorgu, if he was there instead of Dalot at wing back, especially when we've got the ball, which is that side of what Ruben wants it to look like, well, all those times when we're going, fucking hell, Dorgu's over hitting the cross, no quality, or Dalot don't want to take people on, because when they've got the ball and you're a wing back, you are the winger when we have it. You're just normal. That's just a normal winger more times than not. Look at that. It'd be amazing to have him there. You know what you're getting there. And then, Cunha just inside that. And then your striker of Sesko or whoever that is. And on the other side, you've got Ahmad. We know what he's been doing at right wing back with Mbumo just ahead. You've got a snapshot into what it looks like when you have two attacking-sided players on that side. So from that point of view, does it take adapting and getting used to for him? He's coming in mid-season, got to learn a new, demand. But, you talk about them doing the research of the player and them sort of thinking about what a player is capable of. they would have done that sort of research to, how tactically flexible is he? How can he take instructions on? We think he can change into that. Now, he's not a super high, like he doesn't get 15, 20 goals a season from, wide positions and stuff like that. Doesn't get double figures, double goals and assists, but sometimes it isn't always about like you have to put up that exact number. It's like you help the team, you play really well, you can attack, you can defend, this, that, and the other. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad. I wouldn't necessarily think that just because we get him in January, it means that, oh, for God's sake, now we're not getting Anderson, you idiots. Oh, for God's sake, now Wharton's off the table, you idiots. I wouldn't necessarily think that.
It's not.
I'm changing these lights, by the way.
It's not. It's not like binary like that. I think people are looking at it like us signing Semenyo in January means we don't get this midfielder in the summer. We don't get 2 midfielders in the summer. We don't do this. We don't do that. We're going to talk about it later on in the show. We still might end up getting a midfielder in January. And also those midfielders we're talking about, like you said, those Elliot Andersons, Balabers, Adam Wharton, they're always summer signings. They're not going to happen in January. And they've always been earmarked for the summer. And it must be stressed. I don't think that Manchester United would be like, they're not like going out of their way to be like, oh, we're always going to do this deal in January. Ideally, they would have been able to wait to the summer for like a Semenyo, but they can't. They realize that they can't. Like they said, market opportunity. This doesn't divert from the long-term squad building strategy. This doesn't change from that at all. It's just a case of it's a market opportunity. Kind of similar to the same way someone mentions it in the chat of like Bruno Fernandes. When we signed him, the intention was to wait until the following summer, wasn't it? We were on and off about whether we were going to get him the prior summer. Then it was like, okay, we'll wait, we'll leave it. Then in that January, it was like, is he going to go Spurs? I think he might end up going Spurs. And United were like, we need to get someone in. We don't want to miss out on him. We need to get him, bring him in, and it can be a catalyst for the rest of the season. So I don't see it as us going for Semenyo as it takes away from us getting a midfielder in the summer. I think there's maybe a little bit too much emphasis on we're spending 65 million on just a wing back. I think that's also the other part of it too, is that I saw it in the chat earlier on, 65 million too much on a wing back. Well, again, Don Robbie says, wait a minute. Yeah. We're constantly saying need a wing back. It's a specialist position. And do we need to spend the money to get it? Well, I don't see him as, we get him in, he's only a left wing back, in the same way that Ahmad isn't only a right wing back, is he? Ahmad plays all over the team. He plays as a right wing back. He plays as a right 10. He's playing for the flexibility. Yeah. And also, if the formation does change, what they say it might, then he might play as a right winger or something like that when he comes back from AFCON. So I wouldn't put too much emphasis on we're spending 65 million on this left wing back. That's only ever where he's going to play in his Manchester United career, because think about it long term. If he would probably sign a 5-year deal +1, right? Are we suggesting that for 6 years he's going to play left wing back? That's it at Manchester United? A lot can happen, during that period of time. Remember, we're not signing a player for the manager. We're signing a player for the club. Antoine Semenyo, if you bring him into Manchester United, the club, regardless of what happens with Ruben, the future, or whatever, you're bringing in a good player to the club, to the team, that can be implemented in multiple positions. So I think there's maybe a bit too much of a stressor on 65 million on a left wing back, and it means we're not going to get midfielders. We don't know that at all. We don't know that whatsoever. And I think we're also in this position where, can we, whatever midfielder we can get in January, is that going to necessarily fix our midfield? Are we going to have no midfield issues if we brought in a midfielder in January? Probably not, right? We'll still have issues. Signing someone like Antoine Semenyo can get you over the line in certain games. And that might be the difference between us getting European football and not European football. So I'm for it. I can't.
That's what squad building is.
I can't sit here and say, as I've said multiple times over the last few weeks, this is where I'm looking at Ineos and going, January, can you go show some ambition in January? Go do something in January. Go get some big players in January. They go all out to get what would be a really important player for us. And then me sit here and be like, well, I'm not happy with that. You didn't get this player. You didn't get that player.
Where's Anderson? Where's my two midfielders? Where's that?
We can't get those people in January, and we still might get a midfielder.
Well,
we haven't even got a left wing back.
And we've got to this Neves situation. That's interesting. Now, look, people can say, look at these idiots getting excited. Think you're going to get Neves in January and get Semenyo like you're miles off. Look at them, ended up with no one in the end, and everyone just stayed where they were. Maybe that does happen. Who knows? But the squad building aspect of it, we knew this would happen. Like, people want it in a certain order. It's not, FM 26. It's not. It's just not that. It's not EAFC. It's not. Right, I tell you what, I'm going to make sure, you can guarantee what you get in them games. Like, I want this to just redo my midfield and my attack, and I'm going to sell him. He's not going to say no. He's definitely going to leave. It's a game. I can make it happen. It's not like that in real life. I don't know if anyone thought it was, but it ain't like that in football. It's not also how you construct a squad. You don't always get the bits you need in the order which you need it in. It's just how it goes. But as long as you're adding the right ingredients to the cake to get to the right destination, like what you say, it's about the journey. You know what I mean? It's about the journey. So, look, we definitely don't get weaker. As it stands, you have to ask yourself this. Do we get weaker by making this move? Does it make us worse?
And by the way, just to push back from this, Mikey says, January, Bruno, Coutinho, Suarez, Vidic, and Van Dijk are all January signings. Critically, they were available in January. That's the key thing. All of those players were available for a transfer in January. Elliot Anderson, Carlos Baleba, and Adam Wharton, they are not available in January unless
no one's saying you can't get a good player in January.
No, but they have to be available in January in the same way that Antoine Semenyo is. Those players you mentioned were available. They were on the market, up for sale in January. Those players that are there, these midfielders we're looking at, they are not available in January unless you go and you pay over the odds, over the valuation of what you would get in the summer. So if you went to Crystal Palace now and said, Adam Wharton, here's 120 million or here's 100 million, and they probably would accept it. But we're not going to do that, are we?
Nor should we. Nor should we. Or nor can we.
We would be criticised for doing that.
No one's going to do it. Even the teams in good positions, like City, ain't going to come in and get Adam Wharton now for 100 million. They're not going to do it.
We can't do that. We know that. So that's when we get back into that territory of: do you want things that you know are not possible, and are then going to get annoyed when they don't happen, even though you know they're not possible to get? You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the key thing.
I think the next thing is, which is valid, and because there's loads of different opinions on this, is just discussing whether you think he's the right fit or not. Not that the fact that we're getting him or whatever. Is there another left wing back you would prefer to get? I know obviously about available and stuff like that, so you've got to think like that. Would you rather wait because you've got your eye on a different type of left wing back, or someone who's a defender but is really good at both ends of the game already that you'd rather wait for? Or, that's a different conversation. He's doing it at Bournemouth, but I don't know. He still only gets like 8-9 goals. I think we'll be going down the garden path with that, thinking he can make the step up, and I don't really think he can. That's, what I mean. I think that's healthy. But I think if your rebuttal, if your pushback is, well, where's the midfielder? Why are we doing that? Or we don't need that position right now. Or why don't we get someone else? Now that I think that you're not remembering, like Owen just said, like January. Availability, opportunities, etc. But also, it doesn't mean, I get it. Again, another conversation to have is, it doesn't mean you have to get him just because he is available. Do you know what I mean? Because if it's not in your plan, if it's not what you want to do, if it's not where you want to be at, or it's not the type of player you want, Arsenal don't need to sign Antoine Semenyo because he's available. That doesn't also mean you go for him just because they're available. So, look, I think there needs to be healthy conversation. But I just knew it would happen. Of like Lil Yo says, but where's the midfielder flex? Like, I just knew if we get things slightly different order, everyone's going to get angry.
Well, and also, like Sho says here, personally, I'm waiting until the summer for any signings. So I don't want further backing for Amorim. Yeah. I've got out of this mindset of, any signing we get is backing Ruben Amorim with money. I just kind of look at it as improving the squad, irrespective of who's in charge. Like, again, when we signed Bruno Fernandes, right? He was signed under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's played under like 4 different managers. So you're not buying necessarily the player for the coach or necessarily the player for the system. You have to think of their long-term tenure at Manchester United. Of course, you're hoping that the coach is going to be there the whole time, because that would suggest that there is success at that point. But it's bringing a player in that, yeah, it would help out Ruben Amorim, but long-term, it's helping out Manchester United. That's why I'm not too focused on we're bringing him in as a left wing back and that's where he's going to play for his whole career, because we don't know that. You know, he could come in. Yeah, he might play left wing back immediately, but then he might end up playing right wing. He might end up playing, you know, in a 10 position. We don't know. We don't know. So I think certainly with signings, and this is what Ineos have said as well, haven't they? That it's not about signing players for coaches. It's about signing players for the club, and signing players that, irrespective of the coach, can play in multiple positions. That's why I use the example of Ahmad. Yeah, he's playing at right wing back, but he's played right 10, can play right wing. So if there is a change in system or a change in coach, you've still got a good squad, and you don't find yourself in that situation where you go, we've only got, let's say we brought in, a specialist wing back. That was only where they could play.
Yeah,
when we switch to a back 4, or if Ruben goes, we go, well, that player's screwed. Then he can only play that position. You know, we should have multi.
And what did we say in the summer? We said that in the
Yeah.
summer about the players that we bought. I mean, obviously, Sesko's a striker, so that's different. The 9 is a 9. You don't need to be adaptable, really. If you're a striker, you're a striker. It's probably the only position, that and goalkeeper, it's probably the only 2 positions in modern football now where you don't really need to be that adaptable. Maybe an out-and-out centre-back these days. Other than that, fullbacks are expected to get up and down and do things, so you might have to play a little bit higher up. Or
one coach wants them to invert, the other wants them to hold the wing. You know,
you've got to be very adaptable. Central midfield now. I mean, look at that. Jesus, are you a 6? Are you an 8? Are you a 10? Are you box to box? Are you tempo setter? In the Roy Keane, do me a favor vibe. You know what I mean? There's all kind of midfielders now. Or God knows what a midfielder is actually supposed to do now. Wingers, again, same thing. Are you supposed to invert? Are you supposed to get chalk on your boots like a Doku? Are you supposed to be a Grealish, cutting in, winning fouls? Are you supposed to be in die, taking the piss out of people, going around people? Are you putting on a sixpence? You just cross all the time? Are you a Jacob Murphy, kick and run and cross? Like what? Do you know what I mean? There's so many different types of positions. So when in the summer, we addressed that, and I was very big on that. 100%. Don't sign players just for Ruben's 3-4-3, because if he gets sacked tomorrow, what does it look like? And we've said it many times in hypothetical situations. Like if we play the 4-3-3 tomorrow, you've got Ahmad on the wing, and Bruno could compete for a space. That's the 2 wingers there. Cunha could go on the left, or the 10. Bruno back into the 10, Kobbie back in with this, that, and the other, and Dalot back to fullback, and Lenny Yoro as a centre back is fine. And you just understand that we are actually getting players now that don't just fit Ruben Amorim. Like if Ruben Amorim left tomorrow and there was a guy who wanted to play 4-3-3, we'll be all right.
And also, it's like that Twitter meme, isn't it? It's the do you think you should sign Antoine Semenyo in January? You go, yeah, I tell you what, I think that'd be a really good signing for us. So you don't think we should sign a midfielder then? And it's no, I didn't say that. It's the I like pancakes, so you hate waffles. It's no, both can exist. And also, I think for Manchester United, both do legitimately exist. I really don't think Manchester United's pursuit of Antoine Semenyo in January, a time in which they realise if we want to sign him, this is when we have to sign him. I don't think that takes anything away from the long-term pursuit of a midfielder or 2 in the summer, because I still think that's always the plan. So I don't think one actually affects the other at all. I just think this is literally just a situation where it's, do we want to sign Semenyo? Yes. Well, if you do want to sign him, you have to sign him now because someone is going to. So you've got to make your call. Is that going to change away from in the summer that you're going to go after those 2 midfielders? No, we're still going to do that. Well, then fine. Then go do it. Good players will make our squad better. Michael Owen punditry.
Yeah. Cooking says, I miss healthy Eric Bailly and Rojo 2-foot tackle. Oh, gosh, healthy Eric Bailly. I mean,
who's healthy Eric Bailly?
Yeah.
I don't recall that
guy. Eric, what a time. Eric Bailly, man. He was crazy. Eyeshadow Marshall.
I just go with with the handle showing up. I just go with the first bit. I just go with the first bit of it. You know what I mean? I just go with I just go eyeshadow, something like that.
Yeah, eyeshadow. Big up eyeshadow for the contribution. Appreciate that. And Aisha also has another contribution. Big up to you. Very generous this morning. It says, Flex, where is the link for Oxford Naturals? Sorry to take you away from the sport. Yeah, it's not in today's show, but we can put it in. Yeah, if you go to yesterday's show, it'll be right there, front and center, QR code. Just go back 24 hours and see the show we did yesterday, which was also about Semenyo at a different stage. But yeah, you can find it there. And Red Baron says, if City get away with all the charges thrown against them, just watch. Every single team won't give a F about any rules. We should break everything. Well, I mean, it's a big if.
Continues to go silent.
Yeah, it can. Yeah, I was saying on the DR the other day. I was just like yesterday. Actually, I was just like, that whole thing. You just know what football's like.
Well, that's what they want. That's what they want. Flex, delay. Because there's obviously as you get further away from the charge, you know, people move on, and they like you're saying there. They just go, oh, who cares? I just want a resolution. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Accountability. It's not just for the manager. It's for them over there. Yeah.
Over there. Gavin says, good morning, gents. Nice to see you on there, Gav.
Good morning.
Big up to you. And the bomb Magalhae, the bomb says, Owen, I think we need a song for the like button haters.
We'll click the like button. Well, I tell you what, sometimes we get some shit just for asking to click the like button. Imagine I made a song about it. Good grief. there would be protests. I've had that before. Don't beg for the likes. Now it'd be get a song.
It's off putting.
I've got a Christmas one and I've got the other ones loaded in, so they're there just in case we ever need them.
Owen and his songs, man. Terence says, just read that United want to speak to Howard Webb regarding recent decisions going against us. And what do you make of McTominay's recent interview? Guys, a couple of recent interviews. Yeah, I was just thinking about that McTominay one. I do want to speak about that a little bit towards the end. But no, listen, I didn't see the whole thing, but I did see the bit about him saying to Kate Abdo, or Kate, she's not Kate Abdo anymore. She's Kate Scott, I think. Anyway, about the excuses. Like she said, do you think it's fair to say basically when you leave Man United, basically everyone just gets better? Paraphrasing, and he's like, nah. It's that's too easy an excuse. There's so many different factors. It's a confidence thing. That club gave me everything. They gave me nutrition. They gave me help with training. And it's not like they give you things. They don't give you things that you get at other clubs and you're missing out. Everything is there for you to see, and you either do or you don't because there's certain things. But when you leave and you're out of the British media, maybe she said, is that bit better? It goes, well, again, yeah and no. Like, you leave and you score a lot of goals, makes you feel good about yourself and this, that, and the other. There's some players that leave and you don't ever really hear about them. It's just the individual. He just spoke about us really well. He did really, really, really good. And also the Bruno interview with Rio yesterday, I thought was really good as well. I listened to the whole thing. There'll obviously be a few clips going out about certain things, but actually listening to it all where you don't get everything's a headline or everything's the big, take that clip. Just understanding the man. I'll be honest, just understanding the man. Even me as someone who loves Bruno, so you can say you're biased, whatever, still get rid of it. That's fine. You Bruno fanboy, confirmed, show you're going to say whatever. But it just made me like him even more. It did, because he was explaining about like why he's the way he is, why he thinks that. And when he's like going at players and saying like, if I shout at you, and he uses the examples of games. And it's like,
he said, I moan more. No, I run more than I moan. And I thought, it's probably true. Again, and he moans a lot, but he does run a lot, as is evident by his stats. I did find it quite interesting once again when he was asked about, he spoke about loyalty. He spoke about loyalty in football, and he sort of said, well, it's changed now. He said it's not, you very rarely find a one-club person anymore. It doesn't really work like that, which is true. And then he said, I had a chance to leave twice, but Man United on both occasions said, we don't want you to go. And I said, okay. And I was like, that's definitely what you were saying the other day, Bruno.
I just don't get that one bit. I just don't get it.
But then he sort of then carried on by sort of saying, once again, but I'll stay if I'm wanted kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, but they just didn't, but you're saying that they told you. Like, it's still really mixed messages with that.
Around that specific issue.
That specific issue was quite strange. But like I said, overall, I thought it was a very...
and he said... You know what was interesting about? I mean, I know this clip did come out, but I saw it in full because I watched the thing before I saw any clips. The bit about the arms going up and how he comes across, because he's saying like, I speak to the referees about this, and like, I'm not even saying anything mad to them, Like it sounds, but it looks like I'm cussing them out because it's how I express myself. And he goes, the referee said to him, like, Bruno, like, in the stadium, it's like the optics of what you're doing to the stadium and to the broad. Like, it looks like I need to be telling you off and you can't speak to me like this. And they're like, no, I agree with what you're saying, Bruno, but just put the arms down. Yeah, he goes, referees always say to me on the way in, Bruno, the worst thing about you is just the arms. Like, it's not actually a problem with you. And then Rio put a good, it just gives you a different perspective about people who played the game at the highest level. Rio said, when I was like first coming, when I had the ball, I was like, doing all this, saying, show for me, come on, come on. You know, when they go, oh, hello, someone.
Yeah.
He goes, Sir Alex got hold of me, said, Rio, you need to stop doing that. You're making people feel on edge in the stadium. Like you're making it look like we don't know what we're doing. And like, you need to stop that with your arms. He said, I didn't even realize I was doing it. So it's just different things that you hear. And when he said, oh, the day I stopped shouting at the players for doing something is the day I think they're not up to it. It's the day I think that you're not capable. So he goes, Josh against Wolves. He said he lost some balls. And I went, oh, come on, Josh, you can't lose that ball. Not Wolves, Sunderland, whoever it was against. You can't lose that ball. And he goes, oh, yeah, I know. He goes, but Josh, come on, because I know you're too good to lose that ball. And he goes, yeah. Then he started running because when you give that person that confidence, but it looks like, yeah, you're too good to lose that ball. What's wrong with you? Like people get too, because his arms are up, they think he's saying negative shit. It doesn't mean that.
But I do agree with that. Sometimes you do have to be a bit careful with it, don't you? Because it can sometimes seem performative, and some people, maybe not Bruno, but some people do use it as a performative, to bail them out of like, well, if I show if I'm flailing my arms, then I'm really trying. You know what I mean? Or the, and also the problem with Bruno is he can be a prick on the pitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he does, like when he'll do that. Sometimes he'll go down too easily, and you go, oh, come on. You know what I mean? And it's that stuff. And unfortunately, sometimes he's got, this isn't really fair, but he's got that, sometimes he's just got one of those faces that's sometimes annoying, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
he could be naturally annoying, you know what I mean? So and then once he does that, then people get angry at him. And also, it depends on the game. Like if Man United are winning every week, it's like, yeah, my captain, look at them digging about. But when we're losing, it's like, oh, fuck off, stop moaning. You're playing shit as well,
It did show how much actually, some people see it as a weakness, but I think if you've got a strong mentality, it isn't. But he did show how much he does look at what people say. Like, because he said it's really hurtful when they say, because look, when you say bad things about me in the media, when you've done it, like, this, that, and the other, or, we're in Roy Keane and stuff like this. And, it hurts. But, it hurts more if Man United fans say it, But I also understand that, my wife says, well, not everyone's going to love you. There's going to be Man United fans that don't like me or think I'm not the right guy, and you should have sold Bruno. And so it was just really honest. Cut a long story short, it was really honest, and I liked it. If you haven't seen it, it's not just a little PR thing of just like quick sit down with the broadcaster, and it's like 8 minutes, and he's just got to say the same shit. It's a whole hour of just him being quite relaxed and talking about everything, the demands he has on himself, how he had to unlearn, which he's still trying to do. Of Bruno, you can't fix everything. So when we're losing, he was like, Eric was good with this with me. Ruben does it. Even my coaches at Sampdoria, whatever. It's like, you can't, when we're losing, you can't just run around and try and fix everything because you're just hurting the team more. So it was good. Right. Kobbie Mainoo, for God's sake. Did he know? And don't be biased, Owen. We can't be biased. So let's make sure.
Wow. You know what I mean? You're apparently, Flex, you're really up Kobbie's ass. You know what I mean? You're defending Kobbie. I hate him, apparently. So this should be fun. So Ben Jacobs was doing an interview on the United Stand yesterday, and he said, my understanding is Kobbie Mainoo was speaking through his brother. He knew about the T-shirt and he endorsed the message. Now, quite quickly after this came out, Manchester United, I think what happened is a lot of people reached out to United. United said to like Sky Sports, Man United will only consider selling Kobbie Mainoo in January if they receive an exceptional offer, but also said, that he's still part of the plans and they don't really have any intentions of selling him, but it would have to be similar to what we were saying earlier on with the midfielders of, if it blew Manchester United out of the water, everybody does indeed have a price. It was a strange one because Ben Jacobs said what he said yesterday in said interview. And then I kind of expected either way to either it get confirmed by other journalists or to get just completely disregarded by other journalists of like, that's not what we've heard. And we didn't really hear anything in that regard. And I think it's because that to me sounds a lot like Ben Jacobs. Again, my understanding. That sounds to me like it's it's more of an opinion. It's more of a. I think it's the deduction
brave one to do though, because to put your opinion to say that. Where it's my understanding that he did know and he's talking through. These strong words. So he must have got a source from somewhere. I
think it's this is kind of what I was saying. I think it's the deduction of, okay, this is a family member, it's a brother you're very close to. While she maybe Ben Jacobs got a bit stronger, saying he endorsed it, he knew about it. I think it's one of those ones whereby it's going, there's no way you're completely blindsided by what happened, the reaction to it, the fallout of it.
I didn't know my brother thought that.
Or at the very least, like, maybe you didn't know he was going to do it that day, but you're telling me you've never seen that T-shirt before. You have no inclination of what it was.
You might not have known he was going to wear it that night.
Wear it that day.
Yeah. But you might have had a chat. I think of him saying, "Fucking, don't wear that." Jesus, mad.
Or you're sort of saying that, like, again, you're not happy. You would have had discussions with your brother about how you're not happy. So in that respect, whilst you're not speaking through him, his brother can be venting Kobbie's feelings without even Kobbie giving it his blessing. You know what I mean? So there is some element of attachment to it, but to go as strong as he was speaking through his brother, that kind of implies it was this very calculated, strategic. All right, you're gonna wear the shirt tonight. Then I'm wearing the shirt tonight. All right, then I can't control you. I don't know if it was that. Like I said before, until we find out one way or the other from either really, really top tier journalist, from Kobbie himself, from the manager or something like that, we don't know. But this is why we were talking yesterday about how delicate it is. The next steps on this, the next communication today, most likely from Ruben in the press conference. Whether or not there will come one from Kobbie, probably not at this point, unless Ruben says a madness in the press conference. Who knows what Ruben will do?
Imagine that, and then his family come out and say more stuff because Ruben throws him under the bus or says something, and then the brother goes on his Insta story and says more lies. You just don't.
It's delicate. It's really, really what happens next is so critical, I think, to this. And obviously, I know the next game is away from home, but I think at the next home game there'll be more of those shirts about. It's inevitable. There'll be those shirts about how that's handled and all this kind of stuff. So it's very delicate at the moment. But I think it's not. Just because Ben Jacobs has said it, I don't think that makes it, that confirmed. Kobbie was in on it, and Kobbie, has put in this transfer request and he's going to go. But, I do think it does goes to show how much of a mess it is, because whenever you see the issue come up on social media or you see it in the chat here, it really generates a lot of strong opinions, doesn't it? Of clubs throwing Kobbie under the bus, or what's happening now with the way Kobbie and his family are handling it is incredibly disrespectful to the club. I saw this yesterday. I didn't think he was like this. If he should never play for Manchester United again, and and it's like, one way or the other, whatever happens next is going to be really critical, because we still don't know all the facts about it. So we've got to be delicate on that. But there's a lot of questions still. There's a lot of questions.
And I think this is what is true is whether, well, no matter what side of this you're on, especially if you're on more of the side, and when I say the player side, I don't mean it like a player FC side, but more like I'm going to give Kobbie the benefit of the doubt, man. I just don't think that he's on doing that. Even if you feel like that, it puts him in a bad position. It puts him in a very tough position because, like you said, when there is silence, even though I think that's the best thing for him to do, it still doesn't clarify things.
It's when you have it needs to be filled, isn't it? Yeah.
And it still leaves things open. So it's like if Kobbie has done that, that's a disgrace.
Yeah.
Like if he's done that and told his brother, or knew that his brother was going to do that, and said, "Yeah, don't worry, Jordan. Yeah, come. I'll just be on the bench. I won't know. Yeah, you're mad, bro. Yeah, go and do that. That's crazy." If you endorse that.
Yeah. Well, even if he didn't know, but he saw it, and he was like, "Yeah, good. Actually, I'm really glad you did that."
Yeah,
that's the problem.
But that's the bit we'll never know that bit. And that's the thing. Because it's a thing that you don't know, I'm trying not to get into that bit of it. Let's just stick to the brother has done that. What does that mean? Well, I don't know what Kobbie thinks about it. I don't know whether Kobbie told him to do it, but it puts Kobbie in a bad position, because you're thinking, did he know? Did he this? it puts the club in a tough position now because you've got that. And you made a really good point the other day. Like, if this gets too big, and then there's always going to be people who will go and buy that. That's another thing I've seen as well, by the way. I've seen that Instagram page saying nearly sold out, get your orders in. Like, this is a stunt. Like, this is a stunt, and it's working. So there will be young guys out there, or just even older guys who are just a little bit naive and silly, that will be like, yeah, man, free Kobbie, bro. I'm getting my shirt. I'm wearing that on Boxing Day for Newcastle at home, mate. I'm getting my free Kobbie shirt, mate. Don't care how cold it is. I wear it over the hoodie, bro. I'm wearing free Kobbie. And then you can't have a directive where you're starting to, at the turnstiles, or when people are in the ground, you're going to stewards. If you see any of them shirts, get them off them.
Out.
Get them off. You can't get involved in that. And then it's silencing the fans, and then you just can't do it. It's something that, because I think because also, you know what else as well? I think most match-going fans that aren't childish and idiotic, let's be honest, wouldn't display their thing like that. Like, I saw a guy outside flipping when Ruben was signing autographs, and he's saying to him, the free Kobbie, Ruben. You know, like the clout chasing man, just trying to do stupid. Like, we all think things about the team, but when you see a player, or you see the manager, or you're in this, there's no, like, you don't express it in that way. You don't help. You're just young and naive, or you're either old and stupid. Like,
I would have thought.
You know what I mean?
I would have thought, again, having been to a bunch of games, right? I used to be a season ticket holder. I think that group of fans, or those people that were taking pictures of Jordan, whatever, with that shirt on, I would assume probably the vast majority of them were looking at him going, "Look at that dick." You know what I mean? Like, can't look. You know, look, what's he doing there? It's the game's got on, or you know, come save that. You know, this is match day or whatever. So I like, that's why I was so annoyed and really sort of sickened by the stunt in general, just because, like you said, regardless of what you think's happened, what side you're on, it just makes this situation a whole lot worse, and way more unnecessarily worse, because now these questions about whether Kobbie did know come up. Now the questions come up about, okay, what's the club going to do about it? How are the club going to handle it? And the next steps are really, really key. And it's kind of the same for when, you know, Alejandro Garnacho was at the club and his brother's tweeting stuff. You want to say to Garnacho, go and have a word with your brother. Stop it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Stop it. If you want to leave, leave. But you don't have to do it for your brother. You know what I mean? Don't have to do that. You know, and it's the same with Kobbie, of going, you know, just tell him to knock it off. So I don't even think it's the territory of who's the villain, who's the hero, or anything like that.
But even
we
when you
don't
believe,
know. We don't know.
You don't know.
But again, what I don't think we can do, and this was my pushback before, is I'm with giving the benefit of the doubt until we find out all the information. But I also don't think we should be of the mindset of it's impossible. Kobbie would never do such a thing.
No, you can't do that.
I mean, that's a credit to his professionalism so far in his career. Certainly, that he's almost earned that kind of reputation. But in the same way that we have to, you know, give the benefit of the doubt until we find the information, we also can't have it in our brain where it's like, not a chance. Kobbie would never do anything like that, because this situation is very volatile and every possibility is a real
and you don't know. And what has happened is now is, look, the term free Kobbie is like, I want him to play more. I want him to play more in this team, you know? So like, you can flippantly say like, yeah, free man, give him more minutes, you know? But then when you do it like this and exercise it in a physical form of like free bro, he's not a slave, bro. He's been paid very well to be on the bench. Like, he's a Man United player getting £20,000 a week under contract that's secure for the next couple of years. You know, he's got a whole career ahead of him. He's only 20. Like, you do need a bit of, and he's
not like the Sancho thing either. You know what I mean?
He's not exiled. He's not banned from training with the first team. Like, as much as I love Kobbie Mainoo and want him to play more, when you go like too far that side, we're acting like he's fucking in shackles in a dungeon, bro. Like, you ain't see, like, we have to chill out with that. Like, free this thing. That's where everyone, and then you get the Roy Keane thing when he goes, well, yeah, well, he got minutes against Grimsby. How did that go? How well did he play? You know what I mean? Yeah. You got to play. Well, hold on. They didn't lose to Grimsby because Kobbie Mainoo had a stinker. They lost because you know 10 other players weren't good. And they got done.
If that's the metric, then none of them should play that again.
None of them should ever play again. You know, Roy Keane probably I can't think off the top of my head, but games where we lost against lower opposition.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you know I mean, and Roy Keane might not have had a good game. Does that mean he should never played again? So that's going into too strict and old school of like, yeah, well, Gary, he played against Grimsby, and how did that go? You know, you got to take your 5 minutes. And this is what me and KG, I wanted to get back to this, because me and KG were talking about this the other day. Because KG was like, he's got the mindset of like, you know, in acting or if you're on stage or whatever his drama teacher told him, which I get in life. Like, even if someone's going to give you 3 minutes, make that the best 3 minutes you can get. Like, you know, take that opportunity. And I'm saying, like, yeah, I get that. But like, and he's saying like in boxing, it's like, you got to stay ready. Like, you know, look at Andy Ruiz, like he beat AJ, you know, a couple of weeks notice. But team and individual fit, it's not like that in football. You can't get the best 3 minutes coming off the bench. And that clearance that you get, because you're only going to get one touch in 3 minutes, make it the best clearance you could do.
Yeah,
so
it's not. Yeah,
don't really work like that for me.
Like I said, those comparisons and a lot of the comparisons that are made in the Kobbie situation for me don't work. So yeah, like you said with the boxing analogy or the drama analogy, or like you could do the wrestling analogy. You've only got to go out there 3 minutes for your match, make it the best 3 minutes of your life. Cool, you can do that. Football doesn't work like that. Sometimes you might not touch the ball. You just might not be involved in the game, and also there might be not a lot for you to do in the game right at that point. You know, if you come on for 5 minutes at the end, and you know the games the team's already lost, what are you going to go and do? Run the entire?
Kobbie's come on loads of times like that.
like your Diego Maradona, and go and score 4 goals. Like it's sometimes there is a ceiling for what you can actually do. You know what I mean? When it coming on the pitch. So I think that's a bit of a lazy analogy of like, you've got 5 minutes, make it count. Well, look, Kobbie Mainoo has made it count in some very late moments in his Manchester United career, whether it's a winner against Wolves late on, remember that? Or we talk about, obviously, that Lyon game where Harry Maguire gets the winner, but Kobbie Mainoo gets the equaliser late on. So you want to talk about making count, having it late moments. He certainly has done that. But yeah, that's why I think, again, sometimes the comparisons or some of those arguments I just think are a bit flawed, in the sense that I think it just depends where you sit on, if you like Kobbie, or if you're one of these people that's more of a sort of club over all of the players, which I am certainly, but I do think there has to be an element of sort of fairness. You know, if Roy Keane got brought on for 5 minutes when Man United were 4-1 down, you know, and you said to him, go make it the best 5 minutes of your life, he would probably turn around and go, well, one, that's my job. That's what I'll do. But also, what am I supposed to do here? You know, I'm surrounded by buffoons and this, that, and the other. I can't, you know, come on and score 3 goals in 5 minutes. It's just not possible. So, yeah, I'm not really on that. But today will be key for it. I'm sure when we do the Trinity later on, we'll be talking about Ruben's comments about it. And to be honest,
I do agree with that.
I kind of, and he also said that as well.
You're only 20. Things can change around. You go through a tough period. You know, you go through a tough period. The manager's not convinced on you. Convince him. Stay. Work it. Yeah. That's where I'm at with it. But I just think using the isolation of Grimsby, of like, well, the last time you played, the team lost against Grimsby, so of course the manager's going to hate you, and you obviously you're shit. It's basically
a great example would be, he got brought on with plenty of time on Monday, and I thought he did really well in that game.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah. He played well. That's when you go, right, take your chance, take your opportunity. He came on, he played well. He came on the pitch. Man United scored a couple of goals. He got sort of back into the game, got ahead. I don't think you could say, he was massively at fault for the goal. Could you? Really? I can't think. Not that I can think of. So that's when you've got more time to kind of, you know, impact the game or go out there and do the best you can. But
like saying, it's easy to be a good player in a bad team, so you should stick out like a sore thumb. So if the team's playing bad against Grimsby, everything you do should be crisp and good, though. You shouldn't drag your level down, because he goes, that's easier to do. Like, and look, listen, Big Man King's played the game, so you know. But I think he did all right against Grimsby. I don't remember him having being the worst player on the pitch.
I don't remember. I don't think he wasn't great that game. No, he wasn't great. But by that metric, by that metric, you know, these are some of the people involved in that game. Maguire should never play again. He might not. Dalot, never play again. Who else? Aiden Heaven played that game. Should never play a game. He's playing at the moment. Who else played that game? You got Kobbie,
Cunha. He started.
Mateus Cunha. You got people got on the pitch. Mason Mount, Brian Mbeumo. Ahmad started the game. Should never play for Manchester United again. You know, it's one of those ones where you sort of go, Onana, of course. Hopefully, we'll never play for United again. It's a lot of players, you know what I mean? Yeah. That should, you know.
Yeah.
And also, when you read that team out in general, it's pretty shite as is, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So it's just that's why I sort of just go like, well, we didn't lose against Grimsby because Kobbie Mainoo played. You know, we can't.
And because he played poorly as well.
No.
The bomb says, is Scott McTominay saying the players at United have everything they need, just lack confidence? Yeah, a bit of that. he's basically, obviously, he is defending us, which is great. You know, you want that, but he's saying that, it's not like there's no, like, you know, training properly, or there's no, like, you know, opportunity. There's no nutritionist. There's no this. There's no that. They help you. It's there for you, like at other clubs. But yeah, it is a confidence thing as well. He's alluding to that. He is alluding to that. Really quickly, Ruben Neves in January.
Yes, so this is where maybe we might end up getting a midfielder. It came from Chris Wheeler saying Ruben Neves has emerged as an option for Manchester United in January for around £20 million. Neves is keen on a return to the Premier League. Sounds very sort of his agent trying to push out there that he maybe wants to come back to the Prem, maybe not so much Manchester United. I mean, in the past, I think we've been linked to Ruben Neves a bunch of times in the past, haven't we? I mean, how old is he? He's only 28. It was surprising when he went to Saudi, wasn't it? And he was one of the ones that was really on record for being like, look, I'm literally coming here for the money. He literally was on an interview going, I'm here for the money. It's generational wealth for me, my family, my kids, my grandkids. When I have them, you know, it's fine. 28 years old, still good age for a footballer. No doubt about that. And he still plays regularly for the national team, I think, Ruben Neves, right? Maybe not as much as he used to, but it wouldn't be a bad signing. I think it's just, you know, you'd have to take a pay cut with assuming the wages that he's on. Don't know if I see it, to be honest. Don't know if I see that one happening. But this might be one of those ones where those people that go, what about the midfielder? This is the kind of midfielder that's available in January. This is kind of the point, isn't it? Those people like your Adam Whartons, Belabers, Elliot Anderson, you can't get them in January, you know, so the pool of midfielders that are available are people like this, Ruben Neves, Conor Gallagher on loan, maybe. And then if your immediate response to that is, no, they're not good enough, then what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, 100%. Exactly. And I feel like let's be honest, if he wanted to come the first time, the Saudi thing got in the way. Of course, you're going to go for that type of money, but he's always been a player that could add to our midfield. I'll be honest. But getting him on a cut price, 20 million. Someone said he could be free in June as well. He could be free in June. So would you wait and try and get him on a free? Like, he feels now like if we had Ruben Neves now, would you play him? Yes, I would, definitely. I'd play him. Would you play him? Would you start him? Would he start instead of Casemiro immediately? This is
what's funny. Like, so Slicey says Neves is not the answer. Well, we know what the answer is. We know it's, we know it's Elliot Anderson or Wharton, or maybe it's not even Belaber. But I can't stress, we're not going to get him in January. We might not even get him in the summer. You know what I mean? And
I do feel like he's more of a squad guy, like 20 mil, Like if he was in my squad and then you go and get the big boy, you know what I mean? What we want.
We're only ever going to get a stopgap in January, aren't we? We're never going to get the final answer.
No.
Again,
get us a midfielder to help us out. Talking
out both sides of our mouths. Going, right, no, don't get Semenyo because the focus needs to be getting on a midfielder. Right, these are the midfielders we can get in January. Well, they're all stopgaps. Yes. Yes. It's the ones we want. We can't get at the moment. We can't. So what? So we don't want to get Semenyo. Those midfielders that are available, we don't also want to get, but we want to get a midfielder. And I just, it's
classic. What do we want?
This is then when we talk, we will talk ourselves out of getting most players of no stopgap, no too expensive, no, don't know about that. Even in the summer, actually, when it will come out like Elliot Anderson, if you want to get him, it's £100 million. We'll have the response of that's a lot of money in it. I don't know, actually. We'll start doing that where he's actually overrated. He's overrated. He's not that good, actually. He's not that good. Even Semenyo now, 65 million. He's actually a bit overrated. He's, Ruben Neves, as Invisible Cloud says there, he doesn't need to be the answer. If we signed Ruben Neves, it's not to be the long-term solution to our midfield. If it was, then that's a massive problem for Manchester United. And that's when you need to go, like those people in charge, get your head inspected, because that's not the answer. But if the question is, can you get a stopgap midfielder until you get Elliot Anderson in the summer, then maybe he is the answer. The real thing is what is the question you're asking?
Yeah, exactly. And stop moving the goalposts when you get the answer. Get the answer. No. Well then, no. It always happens.
No, I want a midfielder. You got a midfielder. No, I don't want. I want that midfielder. Can't get that one until the summer. Well, I don't care. Okay.
Honestly, guys. There you go. There you go. Press conference day today. Let's see what happens. Let's see how this is tackled with Ruben. He's going to get a barrage of questions, you know, from Bruno talking, from Kobbie talking. It's been a busy week, man.
I so hope it's not a disaster. Like, this has to be handled well.
He has to get it right. I think the Bruno one's a lot easier to sort out because it's listen, he's up. We love him. He's that's easier. I don't think there'll be any controversy. He's not going to come out and be like, I don't know why he's saying that. You know, we told him how much you. That will be all right. The Kobbie one is the one. The Kobbie one is the one. And I really want him to start against Aston Villa as well. Just
imagine he comes out and just like, Kobbie won't be in the squad against Aston Villa.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Then that would be like...
Yeah, no, he won't do that. They can't do that from this. They can't.
Yeah.
Well, if certain things happen, though, you never know. Behind the scenes, we might not be. Football, this is crazy. Let's wait and see. So we'll be with you for the Trinity at 4 p.m. with the latest on what's gone on in that presser, of course, all the biggest quotes, all the biggest talking points, and all the stuff that's happened over the last week or so. Myself, KG, and Owen. We'll see you then, guys. Smash a like on the video on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And we'll see you then. And hopefully nothing happens in between that time where I have to see you even quicker than that. Take care, people, and breathe. See you later on 4 p.m. Peace.